Gareth is in Kirkcaldy in Northern Ireland. Kirkcaldy.
Kirkcaldy, that's right. Ian, good morning to you.
Thank you very much, and a good morning to you. What made you pick up the phone, Gareth?
Well, it was just the discussion earlier on with regards to the consequences of Brexit, and also you just mentioned there about a lot of the world map being pink in the past as part of the British Empire.
I did.
And how relations with the rest of the world are very important, including with Europe.
Yes.
Well, it's exactly the same situation here in Northern Ireland in miniature, except it's our local DUP party, and they would like all of the UK to not be pink. They're definitely not so much into pink issues, but they would like all of the UK to be red, white and blue.
Yes. You cheeky so-and-so. You know that in this context, pink means exactly the same as red, white and blue, but I understand your semantic mischief, Gareth, all too well.
Absolutely, and pink should be the same as red, white and blue, shouldn't it, in this modern society?
Oh, well, I would agree with that as well.
They are a little bit behind the times, and they do not actually represent the majority of the population in Northern Ireland. They really only represent about 30% of the population. 70% of the population support the Good Friday Agreement and support the Good Friday Agreement institutions. And it seems very strange that just before the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, which is this day next week, and the arrival of President Biden from the USA next Tuesday, that they will not actually be involved in running Northern Ireland. Even though they want Northern Ireland to remain in the United Kingdom, they do not actually want to implement the levelling up agenda, even though that is quite controversial across all of the UK.
I think it's Brexit in microcosm. I've thought this for some time. Like a lot of people on this side of the sea, I've been on a bit of a crash course. I knew quite a bit about Northern Irish politics, or certainly the history, more so necessarily than the very, very recent history of the country, of the nation, but it's Brexit in microcosm. It's a belief that it is more valuable to have an intangible emotional connection or an intangible emotional prize than it is to have all of the measurable, tangible, evidential advantages of being on a different footing. So,
well, I could tell you something very tangible, James.
Tangible me away.
We have a health waiting list of 378,000. That is 1/5 of the population. And that is the responsibility of any party that is involved in impasse. It wasn't just the DUP that did a democratic impasse here in the last 6 years. But let me tell you this. We have people's lives at stake. I know that health is a big issue across the UK, but get this. Even if 1% of the people on that waiting list, which is perfectly feasible, die unnecessarily or die avoidably, that is 3,700 people. That is actually the same number of people who passed away in the entire Northern Ireland Troubles.
Wow.
And that is the responsibility that they have now.
And it is something that can only be. So, it's amazing, isn't it? It must be the only job in the country, in the whole of the United Kingdom, where you can not turn up and still get paid.
It's absolutely unbelievable. Now, they have had a 27.5% pay cut, but unfortunately that has been levelled at all of the MLAs rather than just the party.
Including the ones that want to get back to, including the ones desperate to get back to work. Gareth, thank you. I'm going to take a moment, if I may, to just tell you how, not just Gareth, but anybody to whom this is relevant, how enormously gratifying I find it that this programme is now making quite big inroads into Northern Ireland. I made a pledge at the beginning of last year, actually, not this year. It was last year, possibly even the year before, that I would do my level best to provide a much better coverage of both Scottish and Northern Irish politics, because so much of what we talk about stops being relevant at the Irish Sea, or stops being relevant at the Scottish border. Not least because of devolution, obviously mostly because of devolution, but also because of history. And I think we're doing all right. I really do. The figures tell me that we're doing all right. But it's wonderful when a plan comes together.